Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. Today I'm working on my Powderpuff tree. It's a Calandria tweedie and it's native to Brazil. This tree was given to me by Ricardo at the Toronto Bonsai Society's fall show. And it's quite a specimen. He grew it from a seed and it's about, I think he said 4 to 6 years old, somewhere around there. Since I've had it, it's grown really well in the plant room. I've had lots of flowers. This flower is kind of fading away now, but they're just the most beautiful flowers I've ever seen. When the flowers are at their prime, they're just a ball of spiky red foliage and they look just beautiful. This is my second attempt at growing a Powderpuff tree. I got a cutting off a member of the Toronto Bonsai Society last year and it was doing well in the plant room. But I was away one day and it dried out. It was a sunny day and it dried out and it never recovered after that. It just died. So it's important to keep the roots moist at all times. This will be the first time I've pruned this Powderpuff. It's been growing really well since I got it, and Ricardo has done all the initial styling, creating a twisty trunk. So today I'm going to prune it back, getting it more compact, and possibly do some branch selection. These Powderpuff trees are a true tropical tree. They don't like cool weather. They don't recommend you take them any lower than 15 degrees Celsius, and they prefer to be kept at 20 to 30 degrees Celsius in bright light and high humidity. It is a warm day out today, well, warmer anyway, and the greenhouse is quite nice, so today I'll give it a prune. I'm going to begin the pruning by pruning back the long branches, leaving some foliage on the branches. So I'll be taking them quite far back to the first set of leaves. So this one I could prune back to here. So here I go. And I'm leaving a stub, so I'm taking that branch right back. At the base of the tree here, I have 2 branches forming that I'm not going to use. I just want to keep it a single trunk. So I'll prune those branches off. So there's that one. And there's one back here. So that one there. The leaves on this tree fold up at night. And it's more of a shrub than a tree. They do grow to a tree-like form, but they don't really get much higher than a person. They tend to be more of a shrub than a true tree. Up near the apex of the tree here, there's a branch growing from the inside of a curve, so I'm going to remove that totally. So here I go. That one comes off. A very long, vigorous branch. While I'm up here in the apex, I'm going to prune all these branches back short, leaving, at least 2 leaves on them. So I'll take the tip off there. There's one growing out here I can take back to right here. Down lower on the tree here, you can see this new green branch growing, and it's growing from a very strange angle. And it needs to come off, so I'll prune that away. Just trying to get in here. There we go. So that one comes off also. I have a long cascading branch here that I'm going to prune back. Taking that off. I've got some lower branches here I can shorten. Back to here. This one I can shorten back to at least here. Taking that off. I'm beginning to expose the structure of the tree, so let's go down and have a look and start doing some branch selection. So here is a look at the tree. I have a trunk that comes up and it has a lot of pruning scars on it. You can see there's some deadwood there. This will eventually heal over. It looks like they heal over quite nicely. There's another scar over here where a lower branch has been removed. And then the trunk line comes up and it divides into 2 here the strongest trunk comes off to the left, and there's a fairly strong one to the right. So I'll need to pick a front for this tree. And I'm thinking right about here is a nice front. It has the trunk line coming forward. It's got good branch selection. There's not much poking straight in your eye, except maybe up in the upper canopy. I'm just looking to see if there's anything better. This is maybe a good view also. The trunk kind of comes towards you, then it goes flat, and then comes forward again. So this could be a good front here. The trunk line definitely comes towards you more if I use this as the front view, and I can rotate it around so this trunk at the back is sort of in the background, focusing your eye on the main trunk line, which has very heavy scarring on it at the moment. You can see up here there's been some major branches removed on this side, but again, it's healing over very, very well. If this were the front, it's much cleaner. It could be a good front too. But I'm still leaning towards this as the front, somewhere around here. I like the way the trunk line comes towards you. Whereas this view, the trunk line looks a little flat. So I'm going to mark the front of the tree as somewhere in this position. It shows all the heavy scarring. There's one down lower, the two up top. It's not the prettiest front view, but it's certainly the most interesting. So I'll mark that as the front. I've got a loop of wire here, and I will just place it in right here. So there's the front view there. I'll trim this branch back. It's growing straight up. I don't want that branch, so I'm going to remove that one totally. Like that. Then I've got a branch here coming out the front. I've got a leaf off to the right hand side here, so I'll prune this back to here. Like that. Just shortening it. It may get removed in the future. I've got a long shoot here that can be pruned back. I have a leaf back here on the branch, so it's pretty straight, that branch, so I'll take it right off to here. Like that. And again, it may eventually come off, but it's still looking good from the front view. Then here I have a strong branch to the right, and behind it I have like a bar branch. There's one coming out the back. I don't think I need this one because I have lots of foliage from this other back branch, so I'm going to remove this one. So that one is going to come off totally. Like that. Now this trunk line or back branch is quite long here. I can prune that back, so I'm going to prune it back to here, keeping, foliage at the tip. And then the one out the back, there's a very long part here, so that can get pruned back to here, like that. So here's my front view. Now I've got some cleanup to do. You can see there's some ugly branches, stubs here. There's a dead branch stub back here, so I'll need to clean this up. Here's a view of that area, so I will come in and just roughly prune that one, and then I'll use my nibblers and I'll come in and clean that up. that's looking quite good. I'll just take the dead bit off here. And there's that branch I removed there. So that gets that area cleaned up quite nicely. Now this area here needs a bit of cleanup work also. Taking that dead kind of lump off the bottom of that branch. So that looks much better. In the apex of the tree here, I have a branch coming forward, which is a nice leader for the tree. And then I have another branch coming from the back here that overhangs that branch. So I need to give the one I want to grow more light and get rid of this one that's overhanging it. So I will do that next. So from the side view, you can see this branch I need to cut back or remove. So I'm looking at this area. I have some branches on that branch that overhangs the other one. So I will keep that for now and I'll prune it off right here. So big cut coming up, taking that off. So now from the front view, you can see I have light to this leader, and I have this back branch which is very tall. It's taller than the leader. So I'm looking to see if I can prune that back. I have, this branch is quite thick here. Let me show you a better view of it. Here's a look at that apex area from above. So I'm going to prune this one back. It's getting quite straight and I've got lots of leaves back here. So I will take that back to here, like that. And then this one, I've got some leaves here and here, which are starting to form new branches. So I could prune it off here, or I think this one's getting too thick. It's thicker than my leader. So I could remove it and see what develops, but I think it's best to prune it back to these new future branches. So I will do that. I'll come in and take that off like that. And the apex will be very vigorous, so I'll get a lot of growth in the apex over the winter. Here's a look at the tree from the front. So it's much more compact now. I still think I need to do a bit of reduction on this branch. It's too long and it's overhanging the branch below it. So let's prune that back next. So on that branch, I have some leaves here. I'll prune it off right here. Well, yeah. Yes. Right to here. Like that. So that shortens that branch so it's not overhanging the lower ones. Now on these lower branches, I have this one branch here that doesn't really flow. Let me show you it from the top view. Here's a look at the tree from the top. So the branch I'm talking about is this one. If you can see it there. So my branch direction, this back branch is out this way. And this one kind of, it comes off it at a funny angle. I think it needs total removal. Okay, so here I go. The only other possibility is to shorten it so something grows out the back. That might be worth a try. So I'll leave a stub and see if it generates new branches that are growing a better direction. So I'll prune it quite hard back to here. Like that, taking that off. So let's check the front view now and just see what's going on. Here's the tree now from the front view. Now out the back, I see there's a long branch here that has no taper and very little movement. And I have a bud on the bottom of that branch, so it would redirect it downwards. So I'm going to shorten that branch. I'm going to take it off right here. So here I go. Taking the tip off that branch so you can see the new shoot underneath. This other branch is looking quite nice. It has a lot of movement, kind of a cascading branch. At the tip I have 3 branches and there's one kind of growing up right here, so I'll take that one off like that. I can shorten this one back a bit like that. And then the one branch out the side here, this one is getting quite long, and I'm just seeing if I could reduce it back. Yes, I could. So I will take it back to here, like that. And this one I can take this stub back a bit further, like that. And I think I'm getting very close to finishing the pruning. There's a little cleanup work I can do in this branch, taking this dead branch off and pruning this stub back a bit, like that. Up in the apex here, I have some cleanup work I can do. There's a dead branch there that I will take off, like that. There's a bit of cleanup work underneath to do here, like that. And there's a stub up top I can take off, like that. And I think that is it. Let's have a look from the front once again. Here is a look at the tree from the front view now. So the front view will be maybe about there, I think. I think it's looking really good. I think it has a really pleasing basic structure to it. A lot of heavy scarring in this view, but that will heal eventually as the tree grows and matures. The next thing I want to look at is the root base. Right now there's a lot of wood chips on top and I can't really see how far down the trunk is until the roots start. So let's have a look at that. Here is a look at the trunk. So I'm just going to rake away some of this surface soil and see what's going on. Okay, it looks like the roots are starting just below the surface of the soil. And it looks like it's in some pretty good bonsai soil. There's a lot of perlite in there. I'm wondering when the best time to repot this tree is. If I did it now, it's going in the plant room for the winter, it's warm and humid, there's good bright light. I think it would recover quite nicely. Or I could just leave it in this pot for the winter and repot it maybe early summer and then have it outdoors. I think the early summer repotting would be a better choice. I think it would have the warm weather outside, good sunlight, and I think that would be the time to do it. So I'll let this grow over the winter. It'll get quite long and bushy. And then in early summer, I'll prune it back just like I did today and repot it at the same time. And then it has the whole summer to recover in the outdoor light and the warm summer temperatures. Here is a look at what I took off the tree today. So, some heavy branches, some long branches, not a lot of heavy pruning, but some. And I think it's got the structure underway. Here is the tree from the front, and I'll rotate it around so we can see it from all angles. So here I go, coming around to the right-hand side, coming around to the back, over to the left-hand side, and back to the front once again. I'm really looking forward to developing this Calandria tweedie bonsai far into the future. I think it's got a good start, so thanks very much, Ricardo, for the gift. And that is all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.